Some heroes are chosen because they look strong. David was chosen because of his heart. Before the songs, before the crown, before the victory, there was a boy no one noticed. David was the youngest in his family. While his brothers stood tall and confident, David spent his days in the fields watching sheep. No applause, no recognition, just quiet hills, long days, and nights filled with stars. But those lonely fields were shaping something deep inside him. David learned patience. He learned courage. He learned to talk to God when no one else was listening. And sometimes, danger came. A lion, a bear. David didn't run, not because he was fearless, but because he trusted that he was not alone. Many of us know what it feels like to be overlooked, to do our best work in silence. David's story begins there. One day, the prophet Samuel came to David's house. God had sent him to anoint the next king of Israel. One by one, David's brothers passed before Samuel, strong, impressive, confident. But God said no. People look at the outward appearance, God told Samuel, but I look at the heart. Finally, Samuel asked, "Are these all your sons?" David was still in the fields. When he was called in, dusty and young, God said, "This is the one." Oil was poured over David's head. He was still a shepherd, but destiny had spoken. Sometimes God's calling comes quietly, long before anyone else sees it. Not long after, Israel faced a terrifying enemy, a giant named Goliath. Day after day, he mocked them. Soldiers trembled. Even the king was afraid. When David heard the giant's words, something burned inside him. Not anger, faith. "Who is this," David said, "that he should defy the living God?" The armor didn't fit him. The sword was too heavy. So David chose what he knew, a sling, 5 stones, and trust in God. One stone, one moment, the giant fell, and the world realized courage doesn't come from size, it comes from faith. David became a hero. Songs were sung, victories followed. But praise can be dangerous. King Saul grew jealous, and suddenly, the man who defeated a giant became a target. David ran. He hid in caves, in deserts, among enemies. He could have taken revenge, but he didn't. Because David knew something important. You don't fix injustice by becoming unjust. In a world quick to retaliate, David chose restraint. While hiding, David wrote songs, songs of fear, songs of hope, songs of trust. The Psalms were born from pain. This is why David feels so human. He doubted, he cried, he questioned, but he always returned to God. Faith isn't pretending everything is okay. Faith is trusting God when it isn't. Eventually, Saul died, and David became king. But the crown did not erase his humanity. David failed. He made painful mistakes, and when confronted, he did something powerful. He repented. He didn't hide. He didn't excuse himself. He returned to God with a broken heart, and God forgave him. This is why David is remembered not as a perfect king, but as a man after God's heart. David teaches us, you don't have to be seen to be chosen. Your past doesn't disqualify your future. Faith grows in quiet places. Failure doesn't end your story. God values the heart more than appearance. For children, David is courage. For adults, David is grace. For everyone, David is hope. David's life reminds us that God is not looking for perfection. He's looking for hearts willing to trust him, in the fields, in the fight, in the failures. And maybe, just maybe, God sees something in you too.